ladies. I am Lanikia, and you are watching What Happened on the Soaps General Hospital Edition. Today is Monday, August the 14th, 2023. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this one a 6. It was okay. Let's get into it. Let's see, who do we want to start with first? Ned. Okay, so Ned is at Sonny's and he's leaving. He wants to get some coffee. He doesn't want to be bothered with people, so he leaves Sonny's or whatever. He out, and Sonny's like, oh, he a grown man. I can't keep him. So then we see Olivia with Dante, and she's putting out towels and everything for the Metro Court because it keeps her hands busy and her mind busy. And so she's talking to Dante about everything that's going on with Eddie Main and how he is Eddie Main no matter what is happening. That's who he is. And so they're just talking, and then Dante gets a phone call that lets him know that Anna's house burned down, and he says he has to go, and Olivia says, okay, cool, but thank you for taking care of me. So then we see Ned stroll on up to Olivia, and he tells her, they talk about the night before, and she says, are you all right? Because I mean, he said, I got in a good punch. She said, yeah, but you took a few. And so she was gonna get him an ice and all that, and he was like, no, I'm cool. But anyway, she tells him that she's still, because they talk about him just leaving out, when they were having a good time when she was listening to his music and she went to get the tea. And he said it's because he, was still thinking about what Tracy said about having him committed. And she said, you don't have to worry about that with me. She would never sign off on that. And it was a nice little moment between them as far as her finally giving in and just saying, you're not Ned, you're Eddie Main and all that. And let's move on, child. I don't have more. So then we see Jocelyn and Carly. So Jocelyn didn't pick Carly up. She didn't get her till the next morning. And Carly is upset with her. She said, I'm sorry. She was like, why was your phone off? Somebody could have needed you. Because this is a teenager. She, what, 19, 20 now? She, ma'am, you should have took the ride from Sonny. Like, who called? And somebody said this, and I totally agree. Who calls their teenage 20-year-old child to come pick them up from the precinct in the middle of the night? Like, what? You shouldn't even want your child on the road at that time, let alone picking your grown self up out of getting in trouble and everything. Like, child, no. But anyways, Carly be having these conversations with Jocelyn. So she said, I don't understand why you just didn't let Sonny take you home. Because Jocelyn is like, on one hand, you have Michael and Dex looking after Sonny. Like, it doesn't make sense. She don't understand what Carly is doing. And it doesn't make sense. And I don't care what kind of explanation Carly gives about, I'm independent now and I'm this and that. Like, but on one hand, you're saying you're independent. And then on the next one, you're like, I want y'all to look after Sonny. And she says, because we have to be safe, because Sonny can't lose power and this and that. I said, so is Sonny gonna lose power? That what they're gonna finally get to? I don't know, child. I don't know. I just know that Jocelyn is confused about all this with Carly, and Carly said, I know I'm a hypocrite and yada yada yada. And I said, yeah, girl, because you could have just accepted the ride and you wouldn't have had to stay in jail all night. Stay at the jail all night. Because I don't think Chase actually put her in jail, but in the holding cell. But anyways, child, let's move on because Jocelyn didn't understand and she trying to, but she didn't. So then we see that Sonny invites Betty over. So when Betty comes over, Sonny is talking to her and just he tells Dex, because Dex was there. He said, go in the back and just listen. So he telling Betty, you know what, thank you so much for Avery. She loves being around you or whatever. She was like, oh, I love being around her as well. And he said, there's been a change of plans. You picking Avery up at 3, right? But can you bring her here and actually said, can you come here and look over or wait here some kind of way? Sonny gonna get Betty to come to his place and she gonna look around for about from 3 to 5. He wasn't gonna be available to come and get Avery, so she was supposed to look around or whatever. It was gonna give her opportunity to look around, and of course Betty is like, yeah, 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 of course, I have no problem with that. So then, when once they do that, Dex was gonna be there also watching Avery and watching Betty and stuff, and he was gonna plant a little USB thing so that Betty can take it, and it was gonna have false information that Britt put on it and all that, right? And so Betty was gonna take that and think she actually got some information on the Pikeman deal. Sonny doesn't go into details with Dex about what exactly is going on with Ava, but he's saying he's helping Ava out or whatever. And Dex is like, yeah, 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 whatever you need, I'm here for it. So Sonny was saying something about taking Avery to Carly's, but I was like, that don't make sense because you already said that the woman was supposed to be there with Avery all day at 3 o'clock, and then she was gonna go to your place with Avery, and you were gonna be late until 5 o'clock. So I don't know, child. Let's keep moving. So anyways, after Sonny talks to Dex, he ends up leaving and going over to Carly's place, and they talking about Avery and everything, and then he tells Carly, how did you enjoy spending the night in jail? And she said, no, I didn't like it. Of course, Sonny. He was like, well, I don't understand why you couldn't just let me check you out. He was like, I wasn't there for you. I was there for Ned, and that would just been like, oh, you need help. She said, because I don't want your help. I'm an independent. He said, I know you're independent. She says, I've always been independent. I said, girl, you was always doing something and having somebody clean up your messes. Like, stop it. But anyway, so she talks about that, and then she just talks about she didn't want his help. They It doesn't make sense. On one hand, you want Sonny protected, and I get it's because of the family, but on one hand, you're taking coffee from him, y'all having warm moments. And then on the next hand, I don't want any help. I'm independent. I don't want anything. He's marrying Nina. I'm with Drew. I'm like, girl, like, stop being confused on where you want to really stand with Sonny. Like Jocelyn said, you're confusing me because I don't understand where you stand with the man. Either you like him and y'all gonna be friends, or y'all just gonna be connected by your children, and that's that. Like, it's confusing. Let's move on. Anyways, so Sonny said, all right, you got your own, you can handle it, you got your own thing. He said, because honestly, I got enough going on as it is. And he really do, because they about to add Gladys onto the list for him whenever they tell Nina what's going on, because she gonna tell Sonny. And so he leaves. And so then we see Mason and Austin. Mason is in Austin's office. He's like, what you doing here? He said, I got double vision and my head hurts. I need some drugs or some help or something. And so then Betty shows up and he said, what you doing here? He was like, y'all are not supposed to, this is not a playground. Y'all can't just come on in my office like it's a playroom or something. And they tell him that when the boss paid for his education, that they were supposed to he was supposed to work for them. He's supposed to be the doctor. If they need anything medically, he's supposed to take care of it. That's why they pay for his education. And so then we see Betty tells them that Sonny is going to leave her for 2 hours, and she planned on getting the information she need. And he was like, and so Mason was like, good job. So anyways, Betty ends up leaving, right? And while she walks out, Dex is falling behind her because he's supposed to be watching her. So then we see who is it? We see Austin and Mason talking. Now I could have swore that the boss was a woman. Now they're saying the boss is a man. And Mason said, really, he don't know what the boss wants information for the pikemen and all this stuff. He don't know why he wants that information, but you never know with him. I said, no, I could have swore it was a man, but okay, child. It is what it is, General Hospital. Um, then we go over and that's it with them, y'all, because then we go over here and we see Valentine is with Anna, and he said he had been at ELQ, right? Because they had something go on. And so she done came in, her house all burned, her townhome all burned down, and Valentine's just like, I'm sorry. She still thinks that, Victor, she said it doesn't feel like WSB or, a hit or something. It feels like somebody's out for revenge. And Valentine said, well, what would revenge be? And so they bring up the past when he wanted revenge on her. He said, yeah, but I was, he was confused. He was wrong on that or whatever. And I said, well, what's going on? And so then Dante ends up coming over and she goes down to a police station. And Valentine was like, I'll come with you. And they were like, she was like, no, I got this. And she leaves. And so when she's at the police station, she's talking to Dante and he is asking her questions about Valentine, like when did Valentine come back? Why was Valentine there? When did Valentine leave? And so he goes and he calls, I don't know, EOQ, and or he called somebody to try to get EOQ surveillance to see when Valentine made it to EOQ headquarters and when he left, right? And so Anna was like, what is all these questions for? He said, we got to cover all our bases. And she said, she doesn't know what's going on, like who would be after her, but it feels like revenge and logistics and all that. And then she stops because she realizes Valentine was into all that when he was with the pikemen in WSB. Because when he went over to pikemen, that's what he was doing. And so now she pausing because she's like, wait, now I don't know if Valentine in on this or not, or what is exactly going on. But Anna is like, do you have any, more questions for me? And Dante tells her no, and she says, okay, I gotta go. But he could tell that she's onto something, but she's not sharing right now, so she leaves. And then Dante gets a phone call, and they tell him Valentine wasn't at ELQ. So I said, okay, so he in on it. Honestly, General Hospital is they're keeping us in the dark about a lot of stuff, and I'm not gonna even try. I'm not gonna try to figure it out. I'm just gonna sit back and watch and watch it unfold, and that's all I'm gonna do. Like, I'm not trying to figure this out. Valentine seems shady at this point, but I'm not 100% sure what's going on with it because he act like he was just um facilitating the deal for Sonny, but I always thought he was doing more than that. I don't know. I don't know what Valentine has gotten into, but he's shady. And after his little message to Spencer, where Spencer says, he was trying to thank him because he's not as bad as he thought he was, and he said, "Yes, I am." Valentine is in on something. I don't know what it is, and I'm not trying to try to figure it out. I'm just gonna watch. Anyways, guys, that was it. Honestly, that's why I gave it a 6 because it was alright. It was just alright. Y'all tell me what you think, and I will see you tomorrow for an all new episode of What Happened on the Soap General Hospital edition. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.